So I figured I'd record this because I want to see how I can try out making videos of myself, which is something I actually wanted to do, but I always doubted myself in making them. And so as this being my first video, I wanted to talk about basically a plan that I came up with, how I'm gonna go from being a college student who's finishing up college to basically a multimillionaire, and being basically the first one, I believe, in my family to be one. Yeah. So basically, I'm trying this out, see how it goes. By the way, my name is David the God, because we're all in control of our own experiences, hence we're the gods of our own realities. And so I'm going to see how mine turns out by trying something that isn't risky, but I labeled a risk, even though it's something I actually wanted to do for a long time, but on a grander level. So I figured let's do baby steps to get there. So yeah, without further ado, basically what I was going to talk about was how I planned to sell myself becoming a multimillionaire. And I just came up with this new plan where, freaking lantern fly just popped up on me. I had to kill it. But yeah, I was going to basically start Instacart shopping. So you know how people they do Grubhub and DoorDash and all those things. Didn't really get that to work out for me, even though I tried, but I wasn't I wasn't really excited on trying it. And then I saw Instacart shopping, which is basically you being a shopper and getting paid to shop for people that either are too far to shop because they don't have a means of getting there or transportation to get there, or they're just ordering a shit ton of stuff. And so you basically get paid to do what they are doing, and then some way, somehow, their payment, they take care of the payment of all our products, and then you just do the trip and the journey for them, and then you get paid. So I never really liked the idea of working 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, or 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I was never going to want to get hired to do a job like that. So I basically was nah, what's another way I can make some money? Because I'm not about to go be inside a building for multiple hours a day, or be walking up and down and just talking to people and then be commission based, which is nothing wrong with that. I actually tried that at one point, which kind of got demotivated out of it by other people around me, and that didn't work out. But yeah, I was what's one way I could just make some quick cash? And I was blessed to have a vehicle to use to make these said trips. So I was you know what? I was given and blessed with the vehicle. Let me utilize it. So boom, I decided to do that. That was my first okay, I can work with this. I'm making some form of financial progress to make me want to continue. So I was let's continue. So I continued, went well with it, and then I'm realizing, obviously this is not the end goal. This is literally just the beginning. But then I got caught up in how happy, how much I was making, even though it really wasn't a lot, but just the fact that I was making money. I was you know what? This is dope as hell. I'm really making money, and I'm just driving around doing something I literally used to just do with my family and my mother all the time, and and you'd get paid for it. They'd be like, oh, I'll pay you if you go with me and all this stuff. And you get like $50, $20 here, but it was never really like nothing consistent or measurable. So you really couldn't measure the way it was coming out. And then you realize like I can see the measurable improvement. If I do bigger loads, I get paid more. If I do more throughout the day, and I got happy with that. And I was like, but pause. If I get happy with this, then I'm just doing a 9 to 5, but on my own terms. So technically, it's just me doing the same thing, but in a different way, on the opposite side of the same coin, if it makes sense. So that doesn't really make much sense to me. So now I was like, you know what? Let's dive in here, because I've been interested in being a millionaire since I was like 10. Then I was interested in like spirituality and the esotericism of it, and how people combined, spirituality and the quantum effects and all these things into it, and boom, they were able to become millionaires, and some chose to be billionaires, and then you find out, oh, they became billionaires. So it's like, all right, bet. Then I was like, all right, let's stretch our dreams. Everybody says dream bigger. So I'm like, all right, let's do billionaire. All right, and I was like, all right. And they said dream even bigger. You got Neville Goddard, Bob Proctors, all these great people. And you just say dream bigger. And I was like, you know what? If I wanted to be very, very unrealistic, to the point where I'm like, the likelihood of me improving getting there is like 0.01% chance of me getting there. I was like, you know what? Let's even do trillionaire. I was like, I don't even know where to begin. So I was like, that was a bit of a staller. And I was like, damn, that's a bit of a stretch. And then you like delve into the idea of just trillion, like trillion cells, like the concept of trillion of anything, like just the thought of it, like counting to a trillion, looking at something that is the size of a trillion. Like you realize analyzing a trillion just from a logical perspective is just intense. Like it's just a lot. And you're like, all right, what the hell? Let's just take a step down, So I was like, all right, billionaire. That works. People, smarter than me, dumber than me, they've gotten to $1 billion. It was doable. And I was like, all right, we could work with that. But then I really didn't have any steps to get there in place, and I would always knock it like, why did I need a goal? And then some people would like set goals, like big goals. Some people like don't set goals, because if you achieve the goals, then you're just gonna be unfulfilled and all that. And I was like, all right, I'm not getting anywhere. And so I was like, you know what? Screw all of that. We're gonna try it, see how this goes. So this is basically me just talking about my thought process on all of this, and basically going about implementing it and seeing how it works. Basically messing around and finding out. So yeah, that was basically now. So I'm put some thought into it. I've been following a lot of people, and I'm basically getting to the point where I can lay out some steps. So this is basically my steps that I'm like gonna set, but then like forget it and basically be adapted with it like wet clay, and not make it set in stone. But this is just like how my vision, how I see myself if I were to be a billionaire, how I would want to get there. One way out of like infinite possibilities, because there is no one way to do it, and that's why there's like 1,000, 100,000 books on being a business or a millionaire, billionaire, because there's no one way. But I love how you can get caught up in the idea that people want to say get rich quick or all this stuff. You can get rich, it just takes a little bit of time. Like it's not hard to do. And so I'm realizing that, and I'm like, okay, just gotta start. So this is me starting. Okay, so basically the first thought, I was like, what's the number one thing that the wealthy do that non-wealthy people don't do? They invest. Okay, what do they invest in? They invest in themselves, either with time or money. They invest in things, either with their time and money. Simple. Alright, so I invest in myself with time and money. How does that look like? What does that look like? I invest in myself. Boom, you buy books, you buy courses. Okay, I've been doing that since the beginning of time. Literally, I was curious about this stuff since I was like 10. And like, all right, so you learn stuff, then you give up because you don't actually, then you try, and then you realize, oh, it didn't work out. I'm like, all right, bro, this something else. Then you're like, okay, learn how to invest in things. And you're like, okay, what can you invest in? You invest in property, you invest in businesses, you invest in skills, services, all that stuff. All right, boom. And you find out there's a lot of things people can do that you can actually make money off of that you didn't really think you can make money off of, but people are doing it. So it's like, all right. And then now you gotta learn, okay, you were to grow, people can have a skill, but now you gotta turn it into a business and make it actually functional and self-fulfilling. And then that's where you come into creating a business, where you basically get to a point where you are working on it while you're working in it, growing it, to get to a point where now you don't have to work in it, but now you work on it, if that makes sense. Which is just basically you don't actually do the work, you hire people, and instead of using the money to buy things, you use it to buy people, which in turn uses you to leverage your time. Instead of using it for money, use your money to get back your time. Because what's the one thing we all can't get back? It's time. So you want to make sure you have as much of that to yourself as possible. So you use money to get back time, rather than using your time to get the money. So you just literally flip the script. I'm like, all right, bet. So now let's apply that to what I wanted to do. Boom. I wanted to do Instacart, make money with that. All right, well, that's not the end goal. What are some things I can do? You can sell products, you can sell services. So I'm like, all right. I find out that people are out here making softwares and doing stuff on websites like Upwork and Fiverr. And I'm like, you know what? So I'm looking behind me, looking real nice though. I can't give it that. It's looking real nice. Then you realize, okay, people are out here really selling anything on Upwork, and people are actually making money off of it. And I'm like scrolling through Instagram 1 minute and YouTube the next, and people are just talking about how they're making like $1,500 in a couple of days or in a week or in a month, just doing the most bare minimum stuff. And I'm like talking about like, you know, filling out a form or like helping you with assistance, virtual assistance and all that stuff. And then even to the point where someone came up with an empathetic listener, and I was like, pause. People are out here just like doing the most basics that people do every day and are getting paid to do it, and are actually getting paid a lot to do it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you were to start off with converting your time into money, you'd use a skill to do it where you get paid a lot to do that same skill, and it doesn't take you as long to make the same amount of money as if you were to do something like what I'm doing, which is shopping. And so I was like, bet, that's a start. So now I could do Instacart shopping, and then I do Upwork, right? So then you could do it as gigs. So now I'm going to like Upwork, like different gigs, like, you know, making short form content for people. And honestly, I might even try being an empathetic listener. Like, I'm gonna try a whole different type of stuff on Upwork, like bare minimum basic skills, charge it, see how that goes, and then yeah, that's really how to start. And then using this all to just build capital, have money, and realizing that there's so many ways to do business, and the real way to do business is to not basically use your own money, but use other people's money like the bank and all this stuff. And you're like, all right, bet. So how do you go about doing that? You get your LLCs, you get your S corps, you get corporations, however you want to go about it. And I'm learning there's 100 different ways you can go about doing it. So I'm definitely going to try a few, but you know, having money in your back pocket is a starter. And then boom, you know, you might have an LLC, you have an EIN number, you set up your business addresses, your business email, have a website, Google, and then boom, you apply to banks, and then they give you funding. And now I'm learning that with that funding, now you can then do what you've always wanted to do, which is business. Which now you just changed. It's a whole game changer. And so I'm like, all right, if I do get funding, what the hell am I gonna do with it? You know? Because then I'm learning, okay, how do you keep your money? How do you make more money? You realize, oh, taxes is like the number one thing that really is another thing that wealthy do. differently. After they invest, you got to make sure that you keep what you invested in and make a profit off of it, which the only thing that can take that away is taxes. So then now you got to just make it up to yourself. You got to be like, all right, let's invest, but then let's learn how to not lose the money after you make profit on it. And then that's where you come into getting holding companies, where you basically have a company that literally just runs or is responsible for the other companies doing the business, but make it in a way where you're not actually attached to it, and your name is not, or your face, none of that is attached to it. So that way now you're not doing business as a person, you're doing business as a business, which is crazy. And then it even gets deeper, where now you can basically have a literal corporation, like freaking on the level of like Amazon and Google's, but like on your own version, and make that hold everything. Like if you want to have like different, and then you learn about life insurance policies, where people, you make that your own bank, so now you put your money back into your bank. And I'm just like, what the hell, bro? Like, you can invest your money back into the bank. And I'm just like, all right, that way you don't lose your money when you take it out. It gains interest while whatever you put in gains interest, while you can take it out and leverage it against your own self. And now I'm talking about debt. Like now you're talking about accumulating debt, but using the debt in a way where it doesn't actually affect you while you're alive. And I was like, whoa. But essentially that's really like me thinking about, like, so you're just telling me I can basically control everything without owning it. So I can have multiple businesses, like real estate, provide services, create your own products, and then just sell it to people and basically profit off of that. But your name isn't actually attached to it. You're more so you're basically a person working for the corporation, but you created that whole thing, so technically it still is attached to you, but there's nothing actually attaching you to it. I'm like, okay, bet. And then it gets even deeper, and now you can put all of that into a trust, and now that trust is just basically, you are just like a freaking board member that just can do certain tasks and can be responsible for the choices that happens within the whole corporation. But literally you are just a person, and therefore just there. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just blew my mind when I was learning about trust and shelf corps and all this stuff. And I was like, people just get money, do business, and then say I'm doing business as that entity. I'm not even doing business as a person, but this entity technically is a person because it's supposed to be viewed as such. And like, all right, this is dope, because this is exactly how billionaires get to that point of being a billionaire. I'm pretty sure every black billionaire does not have their name attached to every single thing that they're doing. I'm like, all right, bet. So that's really just me, just like dabbling in everything. So I'm like, all right, how would this look for me? Quite simply, basic product, service, give my time the money, save up as much money, and then basically use that money to buy businesses, use them businesses to get money, get funding, and then basically use it to then create real estate, invest in real estate, Airbnbs. Hell, I've even thought about, doing YouTube. So I'm gonna really see how the YouTube aspect goes about it. I have really no clue how this is gonna go. But if it gains traction, I'm gonna continue. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is actually pretty dope. Like thinking about it and like actually trying it out. I'm like, you know what? Let's just try this out, see where it goes. Like, what are you here to do if not try new stuff out and see where it takes you? Because what are you gonna look back 20 years from now and be like, why didn't you? Because now I'm realizing, like, if I did this like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and just kept it, I'm like, who knows where I would have been? Because I really just love the idea of being an actor, a comedian. Hell, I even wanted to produce music. I love cars, even though I don't understand them 100%. I love planes. I want to fly private, you know what I'm saying? I want to enjoy the fancy life. I want to have yachts. Hell, I won't even have yachts and charter them out to other people because I'm not using it all the damn time, and I just want to make money every way I can, but in like the most fun, exotic ways possible. Hell, I even want to join freaking Elon Musk on one of his trips to Mars. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you can't do that just working 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every goddamn day of your life, and the weekend, and you're just like there, like doing meaningless stuff. Like I want to get to that point, you know. So I'm like, all right, just start, you know. Sold it to one of my bros, Zay, and he was just like, hey, bro, just start. I was like, all right, bro, I got you, because, you know, I want to create stuff, make stuff happen, be different, be unique. And people always ask you what makes you unique, and I did, and I'm realizing, like, there is no logical answer to what makes someone unique. You just have to really just figure it out through experience. Like there's no conscious process to it. Like it just shines through. So yeah, I'm really just figuring out how, you know, creating businesses and then using the money from those businesses and funding stuff and then running businesses, because I really want to help my family out. Because me being the first millionaire and then aspiring to be the first billionaire, and how even if in this lifetime I hit the T mark, right, that would be my goal. I'm just changing the world, bro. Like I'm not even gonna hesitate, bro. I'm just gonna it's gonna sound crazy, but like Thanos, bro. Like I hit the T mark. I'm snapping my fingers and I'm changing every inch of the world, bro. Like it's not even gonna be funny. Because the way things are, one, it's not what it seems, and if it is what it seems, it shouldn't be that way. And I intend on making it the way it should be, which is fun. And the word fun is subjective. Every word is subjective. Semantics is a hell of a drug, because everything is meaningless and meaningful to everyone in an entirely different way. No two people can ever be alike, which is the beauty of it. And you just have to know that for yourself. So I'm really figuring out this whole thing for myself. If this happens to go viral, even hell, if this gets views, 50,000 views, 5,000 views, 10,000 views, I'd probably definitely make a part 2, and whole knows I might just make this a daily thing where I just speak for like 30 minutes on myself, because I've realized I've learned so much. Like I've literally, since like the age of like 10, 12, I've just been delved in spirituality and like the power of healing yourself and really realizing what that looks like, but how much you actually have to go through healing yourself, and realizing not everybody is meant to heal. Not everybody is meant to heal, and knowing that part kind of sucks. But you just have to do the best you can and play any roles that you can, because you realize a lot is happening behind the scenes that you are completely unaware of, and rightfully so, because if you knew everything and could see everything happening at once, how much fun would it be? It'd be like a roller coaster ride. Like, how much could you really enjoy the ride if you knew exactly every inch and every curve of the ride? You wouldn't really enjoy it much. You like it because it feels unpredictable every time. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just go out on a limb, see where it takes us, build up myself, build up others along the way, create a team, and just have fun with it, man. Yeah, so appreciate it. This is my little rant. I probably might go in to talk about this more if there's any like questions and stuff. Talk about it more, see where it goes. This is kind of fun, kind of dope, not gonna lie. Alright, chill underneath this tree. It's one of my chill trees in the park. I enjoy parks. They keep you grounded, you know? While you aspire to be whoever you want to be and however you want to do it, this keeps you grounded while you can grow, because we grow in multiple directions. We don't grow in one. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy your day, week, year, month. Hope you enjoy your lives and live it moment by moment.